a lot of people in Atlanta believe that since we had a rainy fall, that the drought is over. What could you give us some guidance on that from from the Australia perspective in terms of when can you rest assured that the drought really is over?
Well, I think that I'd hesitate to give advice, but if I can just share what we've been through, variable rainfall year to year is natural. That's part of the way nature works, and there's periods which are wetter and drier. I think the important thing is to understand some of those longer term trends. Certainly it took us a little while to recognise that in Australia, as we were, I'm going back over 30 years ago now, and we started to have a few more droughts, and it'll come back next year, and at some stage we had another flood and it was wet again, and people breathed a sigh of relief and we all forgot about water. But what was going on underneath that was a very, very marked long-term trend of decline. That's not always apparent. I think you need to recognise those long-term trends, and what takes a lot of effort, but is just to maintain the efficiency, the good practices that you learn during the drought. Water is a finite resource, and even though it may look like it's plentiful and you have floods, floods are part of nature. They wash out the land and they give things a clean, and we need to let those floods come along, and we need to use this limited resource as efficiently as possible. So without having an impact on your lifestyle, just being a little more water smart. I certainly think in water business, what we've learnt, and from the agricultural point of view, this was remarkable. We realised that the less water we used and the more precise we got at it, we actually improved our productivity. We used less fertiliser, we used less electricity for pumping, productivity of our agricultural sector generally went up. We realised how often we were actually drowning the root zones of our plants. So there was a lot of business benefit for our farming and irrigation communities in getting water smart. And around the home, I think the generation that's growing up now, I think in time we're going to have a wholly different view to a current older generation's view that this stuff is precious, it needs to be cared for. So hang on to the habits that you learn during drought, and go looking for those long-term trends, which took us a while to make those steps in Australia, but they were two very useful steps that we did take.